So hopefully you've already seen the chick video before this one, and here they are. Let me grab one. They'll squawk, but they're starting to get their little feathers on them. Ah! Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, you guys are so cute. And they're now officially a week. Most of all but one of them are a week and 6 days. So there they are. Maybe that's better focused. But they are so cute. So this here is my house garden, zone 1 if you want. My winter garden. My pineapples have come on really strong. They're getting very large now. I'm worrying less and less about the rats eating them, although that could still happen. We've taken out 16 rats so far and have quite a few more to go, I'm sure. I haven't trapped anything in like about 2 weeks. So my goal, I've got so much canning still to do, but my goal is to get this Dr. White cheese ripped out. I think I'm going to rip out most of the eggplant. I have made copanatina, which is a Sicilian dish where you use eggplant in there with olives and a little tomato sauce and onions and celery. It's a wonderful kind of a relish, if you will. And so anyhow, I've made 10.5 jars of that. And I have froze back also quite a bit of breaded eggplant that went into a bag. So that's about to go. Not that I have a lot I want to replace with, but the carrots have all gone to seed. I am still going to let them stay. I'm very curious to see. I don't really want to collect seeds, but they are bringing in pollinators, and I have the Barbados cherry there, and the jaboticaba is right next to it, kind of little, but he's putting on new growth. Anyhow, long story short, I've just giving the pollinators a place to stay. The skies are alive already this morning, huh, bud? Huh? You're not supposed to be in here. He's been getting in here more and more. He smells the rats. And so right here, I didn't have time really to get pots going and what have you. So I put my Zucchino replicante right there, bud. But don't kill them. To germinate. Oh no. Go. Get out. Get out. So that's what they're doing right there. I am planning on moving them, but I've got to clear and give them, they will travel. They'll take this whole space, and that'll provide ground cover for me. So that is actually my bigger goal. And I'll get food too. And this goes quite extensive into the heat, almost like to August, I think is what we did last year. We had a video on that. So I've got to clear out. The grass is really overtaking quite a bit of area. I have whatever this weed is. As soon as the rain show up, so does this weed. And it's like a rhizome. It travels under the ground, and it pops up. Like, this is probably the mom. This is the baby. This is another baby. Little things like that. So if you don't keep it under control, it will dominate the whole it'll become like a complete carpet in here. So my other goals is to take all the Brussels sprouts. I haven't had my morning coffee yet. Can you tell the morning birds? No coffee. Take these Brussels off and preserve them and store them, eat them. I'm just going to really strip almost everything in here. I will leave the garlic, the zinnias, the tiger collards are still providing for me, the neighbors, and the chickens. And the garlic's doing really good. This is red talk garlic, and not all of it's good. I haven't weeded this garden in a long time, but this base is getting pretty thick down here. Oh, look, and it's separating. Oh, that's good. It's making the heads. Finally, it stayed at this stage for the longest time, where it was just a tiny thin thing. Oh, can you see? There you go. And anyhow, I fertilized. It's now had rain several times. It's moved on to this next stage where it looks a bit like a green onion. And look at this. This one's actually way ahead of his friends. He looks great. And hold on, I'm trying not to step too much over here because there are baby carrots. Look at that. I took a huge risk. And this is like my 4th sowing. And you should not start carrots in Florida normally. Zone 9B in April. But I did it, and because we've been having these strange cold snaps in between all the dramatic heat. And sure enough, we got cold enough to germinate carrots. Look, here's another good looking garlic. Red top garlic. I did not do well with my Sheila. I didn't even have any of them grow little green tops. But looks like the red top's going to be better. I'm on the low end of the learning curve. So as I get better at it, hopefully so will my garlic. This is Nero de Toscana. This kale is going to stay in here because it's the only, I ripped all the other kale out of the other garden. And I figured it could stay in here for as long as it wants. The bugs will eventually overtake it. But I'm going to leave that. And there is some red ursa. It's not as heat tolerant as the Nero de Toscana. So you could probably see it in the understory of this eggplant. It was under the Dr. Wyche yellow tomatoes, but those are now just sticks. So I will just rip that out and give that to the bunny. In fact, she would probably love that, like for breakfast. But look, eggplant is going to seed. So I'm going to save that. I had a lot of red mite damage. I did some spraying consistent for a while and then not consistent for a while, but it looks like the new growth is doing better, suffering less. So this is my plumeria, and when it came on real strong, and this has the most beautiful fragrance. Look at it. It's just like a picture, especially with all the little morning raindrops on it. Here's what it looks like before it blooms. And this is it afterwards. It comes in a variety, sort of like a sunrise, sunset color. There's a pink to yellow one. There's just a pink one. There's a white one. And I don't know all the specifics and names. We used to have these in the yard, and one by one they kind of died or got pulled out. And so now we're bringing them back thanks to generous donations of friends. So this is my Persian lime, and my one really good fruit is actually split. A lot of the babies have come off. I just don't think the bees have found it in its new home. Here's a nice little one. But for the most part, it's put a lot of its energy into growing. The sucker was transplanted 3 times. We had it in a pot for 3 years, so it was stunted that way. And then we put it in another location. We had to move it for all the tree removal. We put it back in the ground after the tree removal. Then we moved it. Anyhow, poor little guy. It's like, please just leave me somewhere, and this is where it's going to live. And it's so happy, gets lots of good sun. We've put mulch around there. We've given a little bit of blocks to protect it from the lawnmower and the weed whacker. Over here, we have some new transplants. So this is a hibiscus. Oh my gosh, looks like it's made the transplant. It's starting to put on new growth right there. That'd be lovely. Oh, this is a beautiful orange hibiscus. And once this shed gets removed, this right here is going. And it's been replaced with nice new sheds. This is my she shed, and that's Jack's fishing shack. And so anyhow, this orange will be a great contrast against that blue. This is my asparagus bed. I hope to expand it. Oh, forgive my excitement. I have been waiting for seeds, and I haven't been out here so long. Look at that, Marilee, are you watching? I have my first asparagus seed. Yes, there could be more, and I hope there's more. But as those seeds come on, I'm going to spread them, and we're going to expand the bed. We can expand it out a foot or so here and a foot or so here, and we can go as far as we want out here. There's probably a good 3 feet. We can just grow this, and this will it can probably last. Asparagus beds can last like 20 years. That's awesome. And then I threw out some cilantro, also hoping, look, can you see the little cilantro leaves amongst the weeds? Those are gonna be what little of summer cilantro. Cilantro is really a winter crop in Florida, so that's awesome. And then I have I don't remember which zinnias, but those are zinnias I threw out there. I was needing a pop of color on the edge of this shed, but then we came in, when we removed all the plants off the front of the house and we painted the house, at least the front we've painted. I am not good with this name, I cannot say it, but it's a Ixora, whatever that is. It kind of looks a little like a penta, but it's however you say that. I've not ever heard anybody say it yet. So it's still the name is kind of new to me. The plant has been in my yard for 13 years. Anyhow, so it's been transplanted. It looks awful, and I probably should have trimmed more growth off of it. And I still may address that when I'm done with canning. But we're just giving it time. Everything before it got put in the ground was heavily fertilized and watered below, and then we stuck the plant in, the dirt down, and then mulched over it. This is Jack's little baby. He has yet to plant it. This is delphinium, so that's going to go gorgeous somewhere. Right here we have loofahs. Thank you, Lori from the Wildings Landing. She has a beautiful little piece of land down in South Florida, and she's going from house into making a homestead. And so if you want, check out the Wildings Landing, and I'll try to link her. And so she was so kind enough to donate some loofah seeds to me, which now are getting their true leaf. And so that's exciting. This will be my first time. We're going to put some loofahs over on the trellis garden area. This is my transplant table, and we have this is chocolate mint. Oh yes, these are new seeds from Haas Tools. So cinder jalapenos, I've got a couple of those. I have some touchdown. Everything got moved here because Jack needed the other seed table. Red Marconis, more red Marconis. Those took forever to germinate because those were my safe seed. This is touchdown bell peppers. I have a bunch of those. And then this is Mama Rosa in the back. This is a dwarf ever-bearing mulberry tree, and that's just a cutting, and it had two brothers that did much better, and they germinated, and I've already given them away. Steve and Marilee, my good friends and relatives. My son married into their family, and now I have this guy, and look, I don't really see roots, but it's definitely growing. So that's just a simple cutting that I took maybe 2 months ago. Let's see, this is the YOLO. Oh, I need to get that in the ground, don't I? Look, we had so much rain yesterday. That's like 1 inch deep. This is, Tabasco. That's my baby's safe seed. Organic hybrid hot pepper. So who knows what that is? I went crazy with pepper seeds because my first batch never worked. So I just grabbed every pepper packet I had, and I wanted to see what germinated, and it took a long time. This is a lone Aunt Molly's ground cherry. Oh, here is my red spinach. I think it's Malabar spinach, but it just said red spinach. And this is a heat-tolerant spinach. Sweet habaneros. Corbachi never germinated any of the times, so all my corbachi seed was bad. This is red bell, and this is safe seed, and this is, I think it's just grass. I saved it a little bit because I thought it might be onion, but now I think it's grass. So anyhow, those are ready to go. What do we have down here? We have, oh, borage. Oh, I need to do something with you. And that's a sunflower. Look at it. They're all sitting in a lot of water. This was a jalapeno. That needs to go. This is bromeliads that were curbside alert, you know, and the old part has died. The new part has come on. It's awfully beautiful. I don't know if the spots are supposed to be there or if it's sick. It might be sick. But still looks healthy otherwise. A sweet potato vine that doesn't actually produce a sweet potato that you eat that I know of. If you know different, let me know. These are all given to me. And another bromeliad. And I may have overplanted that, so we're probably going to thin that down by 1 or 2 plants, and we're going to put some bromeliads in the trees over there. Jack and I have been doing a lot of studying about that, and I was even saying it wrong for the longest time. I wasn't saying bromeliad right. So this one looks like it wants to flower. It's filled with water right now. That's just, I love that pop of color in the stripes. And then I have a solid one over there. I have aloe here and there and everywhere. Again, my Barbados cherry, my Jaboticaba is still a baby. Bud, guess what? There's a squirrel. Look. Did you see squirrel? Look at him. He's so pretty. He is our bottle baby that we got at 16 days old. His litter was in need, and so there was 8 of them, and we went over to Brooksville, Florida, picked him up, and we did bottle for a couple weeks, and then we mixed bottle with food, and so he's been totally hand raised, and he's a bit spoiled. Look at him. You see that squirrel? See squirrel? Bud has his own video of how we did that. We were looking desperately for information when he arrived at our house, and we could not find much. So between the advice of the vets and a couple friends, we documented everything, and then we put a video out on it. So maybe that would help others. This is vintage wine tomatoes. This is, I'm just going to kind of generally say, this is our tomato section, and it's had a rough year. It's usually loaded with tomatoes by now. It's not. You saw the last tomato video I had. I stripped these all because I had a red mite issue. Here's a couple tomatoes, few. These are big boy F1 hybrids. Everything's been, my Dr. Wychees are dying. This whole row right here is Jet Stars, which is a hybrid. Florida, we can only do heirlooms in the winter, and I knew I just was limited on time, so I went and quickly bought a pack of Jet Stars, and here they go. They're starting to produce. Yeah. So nothing makes it through a July and August heat in Florida. I mean, as far as tomatoes go. So we really we pretty much garden from like September, October until about June, and then our relaxing time is the summer when the heat is, and then I just stay by the pool and I dream of seeds and make orders for seeds and stuff like that. So there's some more baby Jet Stars. That's good. This is what is this? I think this is a Cosmic Eclipse, and I believe that's all heirloom. It fell over, so it looks like I gotta stake it back up. My pork chops died. The Cosmic Eclipse, I don't see any fruit on it. Uh-oh, we got something starting to eat you guys over here. Yeah, I definitely need to come back out here and do some work. 4 o'clock, so I decided to put them over here. I had multiple seeds germinate, And I put one at each row, at the end of each row, just to give a little pop and color, perhaps attract bees. I have Alma paprika peppers right there. You know, when the quarantine first happened, my yard looked fantastic back here. We did so much stinking work. And now it just seemed like a week to 10 days of neglect. And plus we've had all this rain. Everything is popped. The grass is now over, you know, needs attention again. Ugh. But this is babies. I think these are bell peppers here. You know, I have notes inside the house, but I never did get anything labeled. So Alma paprikas, this is a bean. I had beans in here last year, and it looks like the beans have volunteered to come back through all the new mulch and stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got a mess. That is my one and only Corbaci pepper. So that's okay. We'll live with it. But I love these little paprikas. They're very... Oh, look. I told you it's been a while since I've been out here. Oh my goodness. We got our first paprika pepper and another bean. And more beans. Oh, and this is just a weed. This is whatever that is. And that right there looks to me like it is amaranth. Okie dokie. Not supposed to be in there. Bud, you're not supposed to be here either. This is the Fiorello di Napoli that was in the front yard, and it wasn't happy. It was pretty much dying there too, and this was a last-ditch effort to transplant it, and I was certain it would lose all its leaves anyhow. Oh, thank you, buddy. Are you helping me compost? And there's the fourth pepper. Anyhow, it was on its way out. But he's certain that he's a vegetarian. This area is still wide open for all those peppers that are over there. So yes, I got to clear this mound out and get peppers in the ground. What I really need to do, my boys are in finals. My daughter-in-law is 6 going on 7 months pregnant very quickly. So maybe if I can get some volunteers over here, we can knock out a whole lot of work. Next week's supposed to be, or later this week is supposed to be a whole lot cooler. This is late season cauliflower. And it shouldn't be working, but it is working. And so it loves that it sat right next to all that brand new dump of compost. That's mushroom compost. And I'm not going to tell it it's growing in the wrong season. I still have some Danvers half-long carrots in here. The dogs have been, I was looking for evidence of it, but anyhow, the dogs have figured out how to pull this section of carrots out, because you can see they're kind of exposed. So once they smell a carrot, they've been pulling them out themselves, not making mommy happy. I have red onions across the front. They've been stepped on and everything, not treated very well at this house. I feel bad. My Tabasco, original, I had 3 plants. One has come back. This has got a little dead area, but it looks like this part's going to come back. My daughter-in-law has a really big established, probably like 3-year-old bush, 2-3-year-old, and that thing's already got red peppers on it. So it just depends on where you are. In Florida, in Zone 9B, we're more like east central Florida. I have lettuce also here, and I'm not, whatever this variety is, it went to seed, and it should, because it was like 90 degrees here a lot. But this is not bolting as quickly. It's just starting, but it's not. And I've been kind of picking off of it to add lettuce to sandwiches and so forth. We have so many tomatoes. We've been eating tomato sandwiches like crazy. Over here I have, these are Martinez Chamayo peppers, and oh, I thought that one wasn't going to make it, and it made it. It's underneath this big cilantro thing. I need to pull this, not now, but it's got seeds on it. Can you see that? Those little balls at the end are coriander seeds. So oh look, I said I pulled all of the Nero de Toscana, but somebody didn't actually make it out, and he saved himself. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's keep moving. I've been waiting about a week now. Some of that might be lack of rain, but it's got a good dumping of rain on it now. So these are, and if not, then I know the seed is bad, but this is straight neck yellow squash, summer squash, and this is a green zucchini. It literally did not have much more description than that. So we should be seeing something soon. These are new beds. I literally put no effort into it. I simply grabbed the tiller out, tilled the ground. I threw like a wheelbarrow worth of mushroom compost on there, and just maybe like a bucket of mulch from the dump. Now I think I'm seeing, you see right there, there and here, there's a little bit. I'm thinking I see evidence that I'm starting to get rows of, these are Hal's Best Cantaloupe. I don't know, it could be weeds. It's not looking as squashy as I'd like. But that's where a row was, so I think that's it. Okay. So we'll see. This is, I was testing some seed packets for a friend, and if we get anything, great. If we don't, great. This is going to be like my neglect garden. The rainy season for us, we're subtropical, and so that should start kicking in, and this should start watering itself. Somewhere along the lines, I don't know where this came from, but I have St. Augustine grass here in my garden, and a nice little patch of it, which is awesome. Leftover fake fall flowers. My husband keeps saying, are those real? I need to just pull them out. But I do, and I don't. This is also fake. Oops. Ugh. Okay. But what is real is the lemon bee balm that is over there, and it is doing fabulous, along with, look at that, St. Augustine runners all in here. But so I planted these on purpose right here. It was just 2 little babies, and it seems to have spread, and because it's sitting right under the dwarf ever-bearing mulberries, which is still, I'm telling you, these were 6-inch sticks. Now they're 6-foot tall towers. And they've been cut back a couple of times. They were cut back in this area. And they just seem to get better and better with age. So I don't know that I'll have fruit this year. I'm expecting for sure a nice harvest next summer or next spring. But it's possible that they may, if you guys know, let me know if they will fruit. Maybe they have multiple seasons and I'll get like a fall season. But it's filling in nicely where it went to sticks, and then of course it has all of this is new growth up here. So that's really cool. This is my Mexican sunflower. Oh my word. Buddy. He's such a handful. Buddy. No. Out. Uh-oh. Well, I thought I might introduce you to my Mexican sunflower over there, but instead I introduced you to my digger. This is my smoothie garden, or blueberries. I have blueberries around the edges that are still very young. They're still putting on leaves. I did get a couple fruit. There's a blueberry starting to turn. I have my cranberry hibiscus, or false hibiscus, in there. No! I swear he's half my problem of gardening. This is Boston pickling, and it doesn't look too well, does it, on those leaves? On this side. This side looks a lot better. Now these are just maybe aging out, but the new leaves look pretty good. Leaves. Did I say leaves? Silly me. Anyhow, looking really good. I did see a girl. Mostly it's been putting out boy blooms, and I did see one little girl And of course we had downpour rain. So I'm wondering if they aren't just gonna, I don't know, not produce much. But I have a fix for that because we just got a case of, or I got a half case of cucumbers in the house. I swear he's got so much energy. He's just an 18-month-old big goofy baby. I have a peanut butter tree here. Nasturtiums. We've talked about these guys before and how they drop seeds. And so these are some volunteer babies. I'm really excited to have the next generation there. I've been collecting seeds on it all spring long. And the peanut butter tree's finally been able to grow taller than it. But that's exciting news. And then I have new key lime tree. We got to, as Jack says, do city planning and figure out where to put the new key lime tree. It's more like a bush. This is not going to get into a tree. Well, perhaps it will. It looks like I got 2 of them. How about that? Wonder if they're connected down below. Pretty good. This is my new Meyer lemon bush. I have a Meyer lemon graft onto the ruby red grapefruit, but it didn't produce this year, so I got kind of like nervous and bought another one. And this had blooms all over it, and we put it in the front with the broccoli, and the bees did their job because I can see lemons on here. And so that'll be awesome, right? This had a bunch of babies. I don't know if that they're pollen. It was also up with the bug. Sorry, I'm looking at bugs. Do you see that? It was also up with the bees. So we'll see what pollinated. I see something new in my garden, but we'll wait till we get there. More nasturtiums. This is ping tongue eggplant. Oh, and it's just finally starting to find its blooms again. So that'll be awesome. It seems to survive. Oh, there's a baby bloom right there. Not a eggplant. Pardon me. This produces the really long, cylindrical purple fruit. So it looks pretty healthy. These were all babies last year, and I was hoping they would make it through the winter. This is Antigua eggplant, which needs a desperate trimming back. A lot of it didn't make it, but looks like some of it will. These, I want to say they're streamlined runner beans. No. I will have to put the name down below. But I only had a couple seeds, and I just stuck them here. And sometimes when I hold on to seeds too long, I don't know if they're going to make it or not. So I stick them somewhere. And obviously they made it, but I probably won't eat from this, but I'll collect fresh seed. Cucamelons, or Mexican sour gherkins, however you want to say. Weed. But these have all finally found the trellis. Boy, they're so tiny when they first come out. See, look at that, very teeny tiny. So, and then they'll grow up, and I should have those little personal, they look like watermelons but taste like a cucumber. And throughout the garden, I had so many roselle germinate that, like, I put one here. I had cleared a little space for it, but that storm brought a lot of debris around it. So there's a red roselle there. This red roselle is extremely happy where it's at. Sometimes they do better in some places than other. This is my climbing oleander, which serves nothing but to bring in pollinators and smell good and look pretty. And they can get quite large, but this is it's starting at 2nd year, and it's still only like 4.5 feet. And I think if we keep it under control, it can stay and be very good. I plan on putting the Mexican sunflower somewhere over this way. And or maybe over here. This is a big gap needs to be filled in. And I know it'll fill in quickly. This is Grimachami cherry, and I don't see where it's putting out fruit. It might still be in a little bit of shock. It's only been here a couple months, 3 months. I think it's about 3 months. So it may just not be happy. I really haven't seen it like anything about where it's being, where it's at. So this guy might not stay. I'm not sure what we'll do with him. This is my Navajo, amongst the weeds. This is my Navajo thornless blackberry. And this was its first year vine. And I kept thinking, oh, it's going to run runners off of it. I heard the fruit comes off in the second year off of the main vine. No, that did not happen. I obviously don't know what I'm doing about it. The only experience I have with blackberries is like going to the Georgia mountains and finding some. But it has put off this excellent, huge runner. That's really thick, like an asparagus size. And maybe, I'll get something fruity off of that. This vine has, still alive, getting a baby set of leaves. This one too. The rest of it not looking so good or hopeful at all. No. Over here is my Chester blackberry. But he's still got the zoom zooms. And I see it's coming back a little bit. And it's putting out a nice shoot from the base too. This one has a lot more shade. So, the whole area is shady. This is not surprising to me that it's kind of starting later than other fruits and berries. Like example, the blueberries get a whole lot more sun. So we'll see. This is coming back from the original vine. I don't get to talk about these guys too much on the channel, but they're here. My Mexican sage is doing fabulous. The bees love it. The rain has caused it to droop over. I have flat leaf Italian parsley that I never thought would took. So it's kind of an interesting combination there in that barrel. I've tried 2 other things in this barrel. Nothing would grow, and I just thought way too much shade. But we finally found something that works here. This old stump was a like 80-foot tall pine tree, and it was hit by lightning. So I don't know if around here some of that ground is kind of whacked out from the electrical charge. I don't know. Grass, little ground cover stuff seems to work. But anyhow, I've had trouble growing in this corner last year. But I put in a Florida native plant. This is a Seminole pumpkin. And it doesn't seem to care that this whole area was hit by lightning. Look at those gorgeous leaves. I mean, look, for hand size comparison, these are huge and gorgeous. It's largely undisturbed by Buddy. It's throwing off these great runners. And I assume that's where my blooms will be. So it's doing great. It's coming all the way across. My plan, I actually planned when I put it here for it to just become ground cover all across here. I'm going to let it travel. And it'll make me happy doing that. As long as it doesn't make it over towards the boat, we're good. And the fishing shack. Here is, like I said, a closer look at the red ruby, or ruby red grapefruit. And it's doing so much better. It produced some fruit last year. It had tons of blooms this year, if you're new to the channel. But, and I thought maybe it had a disease on it, but all the new, I think that was just transporting, like this right here. I think that was just transporting and transplant, mishaps. And all the new growth looks absolutely fabulous. And it's getting thicker, taller, fuller, everything. It's, wow, it's looking beautiful. It just has no fruit, which is okay. It probably needs this year to concentrate on growth. And next year, I'm sure I'll have lots of fruit from it. Down here is my Meyer lemon graft. And man, I'm so sold on those Meyer lemons. There's nothing like a Meyer lemon. The store cannot even compete. Oh my word. Do you see this? That is my first butternut squash, and I got no boy blooms. Oh, I'm gonna have to go buy. Gee, wouldn't that be nice? I need to buy some boy blooms. No, I'm gonna have to go in the front, and I'm so distracted. Buddy's digging again. That's what you can't see while I'm stumbling over my words. I'll go get a boy squash in the front and pollinate that real quick, and also do something with Buddy. All right, a couple little honorable mentions over here. One of the Antigua eggplants is here. Not looking real good, but it'll come back fuller with heat. If you guys know what this is, I have a couple of them in my yard. And I have this gorgeous butterfly that loves to lay eggs on it. So I'm not sure what it is. I need to do plant ID on that and figure out what is attracting that butterfly. This is potato vine, air potatoes. I gotta pull that. I've done a good job of eradicating a lot of that this year, but I see I've got some work to do over here. This is Roselle. Two more roselles. I plan on all this filling in and becoming like a hedge over here. I put a little wire. It's a tomato cage, but it's all broken up. It's not really good for much. I mean, it's good for potato vine, air potatoes, but it was just there to stop the dogs from using it as a path and trampling the new babies. Here's a zinnia. I have zinnias everywhere on purpose. This is a scarlet runner bean, and last fall I put in a black coated runner bean, and the blooms are very similar. So I might have two different plants in here, which is maybe why one set is going to the sky. And now this is starting to finally take root, but this stuff in the middle is not. I think I've got two different things. These leaves are a lot lighter. These leaves are a lot darker. Something's going on. The blooms look great today, but and I've grabbed a few beans, but for the most part, like this is already bloomed and there should be beans off of it. This one's dying, but something's coming in and eating not just the leaves, but all the baby beans before they even get going. So while the plants look pretty good, something's eating all the tender stuff, and I haven't figured that out yet. And I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. I do have these little leaf bugs where they turn and curl the leaves over. They actually, I don't treat for that. They just, they eat a couple leaves, but guess what? Then you got new leaves and new leaves. So I just kind of let them go, and I don't treat for that. Man, this is gorgeous showstopper. I just have a little bit of, that's a wind chime over there. Wind, whatever. When you go up and down 75 and maybe the Florida Turnpike, you see all those stop here and see the big 9-foot gator. And it's stuffed, and it's a little convenience store, and they sell oranges. That's where we got that thing, and this is one of its pieces that fell off, but I leave it there to scare the squirrels. So everything looks real good there. Did I mention these are Socrates cucumbers? Doing pretty good. They're still young. I've reseeded. So we'll see. These are kind of special, so they don't have a bloom on to show you, but they produce nothing but girl fruit, and that's why I had them, because I was having such a pollinator problem years ago. It originated in the garden that was on the other side of that shed, between the coop and the shed, and were fabulous. And then we started them a year ago in the salsa garden, and they did great. And so this is their first time here, and I put them in shade as an experiment to see if they would last longer throughout the year. Or maybe produce more fruit. I don't know that they like the shade much better. I don't see where any of this is paying off. This is my creeping thyme, and it seems to love the shade, and it loves that bucket. It's not got much dirt in there because I tried to transplant And it hated this bucket. Here's a little bit. Maybe it'll take off with heat. But this whole side died in the transplant. This is purslane, and it was wild in my yard. There's a lot of good wild things if you just slow down to look. And my friend came over and she goes, "You got wild purslane." So anyhow, I decided to pick some of it up and at least preserve it in these buckets. Also given to me by a neighbor. So, you know, gardening doesn't have to be expensive. This is oregano, and this came off the mother plant from the house garden, and it was in a bucket for most of last year, and I put it in here, and I'm hoping for it to cascade over the sides eventually through the summer. There's a little bitty. This pineapple has never done anything. I think it's been tore out by dogs too many times. This is Blue Lake pole bean. Look at that. You get a little bit of a peachy and a white bloom. That's kind of cool. Here's that bug. It turned over the leaf. Wait for the big reveal. What is it? Ah! Look. Well, that'll do some damage overnight, won't it? Yikes. Okay, I'm not going to touch him, but I'm going to grab this leaf and probably give it to my girls. Look, there's multiples. Oh, I hate to treat for anything, but look, they're all over here. Oops, sorry, I didn't show you. Look at that. He will just, that's probably who's eating all my little tiny beans. Well, we'll have to do an ID on that. Okay, let me just take that whole leaf with me so he doesn't go very far. Anyhow, that is my Blue Lake pole beans, and I have some over here, but they're kind of getting shaded out by this gorgeous little Everglades tomato, which is going up. These things can go 20-25 feet. Do not put them in little planters. They need space to grow. They're real susceptible to red mites and well, anything. It's kind of crazy, actually, you know, because they seem to, they're invasive to some degree. Let's talk about cherry Everglades tomatoes, Everglades cherry tomatoes. So they grow amazing. Like I said, 20-25 foot. Birds carry the seeds, squirrel carry the seeds, dog carry the seeds, you name it. Everything carries the seeds, poops them out, and they replant. Once you have one plant, you will never get rid of these plants. And the fruit is exceptional. It's still, well, I'm not going to eat that. I was going to pop it in my mouth. Is excellent. Small little cherry tomatoes, very sweet. You name it, excellent. My only, ooh, there's some beans I got to pick for later. I have some in the house ready to go. But this is what happens. Part of it dies back, but it will replant itself, and it doesn't care about heat or cold or whatever. It will reseed no matter what season here in Florida. And let's see, I was looking to see if I got red spider mites, and I got a leaf in the eyeball. Okay, that's nice. Anywho, but anyhow, I don't usually let them stay for long. I pull them out a lot. This one I thought might have a chance growing if I put it onto the trellis. I'm looking for anything that'll cover these trellises this year, which looks like I have winter over here and over here. And I did too with these sweet magnolia tendril peas. And I will with these butterfly peas. These will grow all the way up here, and they'll be covered with blue blooms. Anyhow, back on point though. The dogs usually eat all the cherry tomatoes, but I thought I might have a chance. See how they're producing up high. The dogs won't get those, and I'll be able to get some tomatoes. This is called an oyster plant, or Moses's basket, and it's really cool. Oh yeah, it has a bloom on it. You see that? These are all volunteers. I had a whole bunch, mostly on this side of the lot, and I did pull one out, but this one I like because it fills in the gap here, and it's just really cool. And I like that it has a biblical name, Moses's basket, and or oyster plant. We love tropical name things too. Here is a bean. I think I only had 2 seeds. They've germinated. They're both here. I don't even remember what I put in. This one needs to find a friend. A trellis. Okay. These are phasing out, but I'm collecting seed. That's the beauty of having a nice big yard. I can collect seed. Oh, and so let me tell you my plan, okay? So this has a red bloom, right? And then I have a white bloom here. And then I'm going to have blue blooms here. So I'm hoping by 4th of July, if that isn't, I'm sure it's going to all be dead from heat, but at some point I want to get a picture of red, white, and blue blooms all together. And if I work my angle right, I might be able to get that like this or something like that, right? Wouldn't that be cool? The photographer in me is always working overtime. Oh, I missed a couple things to tell you. This is my baby moringa, which has finally said thank you for putting me in the ground. It is so super happy. Do you remember I planted my grapefruit vines? Not grapefruit. What am I saying? Grapes. Okay, and I'll put the genus species name down. Evitas something. And it's doing good. It slowed for a little bit, and now it's coming up and taking off again. It really loves water. It probably should be on irrigation. So this is my red grape, and over in this trellis is my green grape. Behind me, more red roselle. Oh goodness, I think I'm losing this guy. Oh, he snapped. Oh no. Oh well, that's why you have extra plants, right? So I have 2 now, kind of too close together. I was gonna make a hedge of them. So, and there was a 4th one. There should have been 4 here. It looks like I'm gonna end up with 2. I shouldn't have removed that cage. I had a cage there and I removed it, and I shouldn't have done that. This is my purple rose. It made a transplant from around the pool area to out here, and it loves it here. And I tried not to put a roselle too close to it, but now as it's growing, I'm seeing it's maybe too close to it. This coming up the fence, poison ivy, and it's getting so much taller. We really need to address that. I cannot touch it. That is a month worth of pain for me, and packs of steroids. I'm highly allergic to stuff out here. Not everything, just Virginia creeper. I saw somebody yesterday touching and just loving on their Virginia creeper. I cannot do that. More lemon bee balm. This thing is just gorgeous. I have a miracle fruit bush that started from a little stick last year. It's I probably could use a little bit more light, but it's doing okay. It put on a lot of new growth. It just doesn't have berries this year. Oh, I know this is becoming lengthy because I haven't done video in so long about the whole tour, garden tour. But anyhow, the broccoli that you last saw probably is gone, completely ripped out. And I put 3 different sunflower seed packets in here. Now I did see one variety of sunflowers are coming up. I don't think I see any of the others. I see some here and there, just little pockets, probably where the water's held a little better. So my goal, I ripped everything out except for this Mexican sunflower a little bit here for bees. Ripped it all out. This should just be covered with sunflowers. I'm going to do progression video, or at least photos of that. I've already started saving for the progression video. Here we have a little bit of those little winter pumpkins mixed in with the Patterson golden marbury squash, and the rain has done a good job of wiping out some blooms and some fruit. The pickle worm found us finally. These vines, once in a while they'll scare me like there's a snake in there, but it's just them. The pickle worm found us really bad. So I don't know. Here is one of those little pumpkins. Those volunteered up. Thank you, Fall Pumpkin Seed. Here's the caserta squash. Looks pretty good. No fruit. Not really any blooms. We've had terrible rain yesterday. Here's Aunt Molly's ground cherry. Let me grab this for you and show you. Look at that. Do you see that? It's got a little husk on it, and it'll kind of go from a darker green to a lighter green. And the only way to explain it is to say it tastes a little bit like a mixture of a cherry or grape along with a tomato aftertaste. But wow, are they delicious. Oh, that's got ants coming out of it. I don't think I'll be eating that one, although you can eat ants. I just don't. Here we go. The one thing I have found difficult about them is getting them before bugs get them. Let's see, hold on. I need 2 fingers. Oh yeah, see? There you go. Once again, something else beat me to it, and this one didn't even fall on the ground. There's some more. Wonder if that one's... No, that's green. That's not ready to eat. But anyhow, let's keep moving. I was given these great little planter boxes, and my goal, hopefully by another 2 months, I should have different color nasturtiums out of each side. And then these are my autumn beauty sunflowers, and these should have sort of a rust colored and black sunflower pattern. I'm really excited about that. I did lose this one to Buddy, pushing it over. The nasturtiums haven't germinated yet, but I'm not really sure how that happens. I just know it happens naturally over in the other area. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing and just give it time. Let's go down this row. So these are my blue cream berry cherry tomatoes, and they're up here to stay away from the dogs. They're doing real good. They love the rain. It took a while for them to get established, but they don't seem to... Look at that pretty leaf. It's a little bit more spikier. Spikier? Is that a good word? Pretty cool looking. No fruit has set quite yet. I see I had I had blooms down here, but they seem to have fallen off, maybe in that extreme heat. Here is my Sugar Babies watermelon. Yay! No, I haven't seen any girl blooms yet. They could have been here. I haven't been out enough. That's a boy. Yeah, that's a boy. But they're sending their little roots down and looking for places to attach. It looks good and healthy. I had one come on late, this one. This is the thing. I started with 6, went down to 3, had 2 more germinate out of another batch. Stuff still just keeps eating the tender baby. That one might make it, might not though. But hopefully these 3 are sending out enough runners where we'll be fine. And I don't care how many I get. I just would like to get some and try it. My moons and stars did not like where it was. I've tried re-germinating more seeds. I'm suspect that the seed packet wasn't very good. Or something. I couldn't get much germination. Maybe it's a low germination deal. Right here is, which one are you? You are the Napa Chardonnay cherry tomatoes. Again, still waiting for fruit, but it's looking great. I'm not pushing it. This is my Zephyr squash. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Are you seeing that? Girl after girl after girl, all eaten up by pickleworm. How in the world did it think it was going to survive with all those girls on there? That's why I said this in one of my earlier squash videos. I think some squash plants are more susceptible to throwing girls, or genetically throwing girls. And this is a case where, I mean, I don't mind that I don't like that pickleworm is in there, but I also don't mind because I don't think it would have been able to feed off. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or 13 squash just in this area. That's not right, is it? It's not right. And so this is also Zephyr going all the way up. There's a nice little girl. There's some more girls. See, again, more and more and more girls. And then I have other ones that don't throw anything. Any girls, that is. That one might have gotten pickleworm, but this one not. I might pick it soon before I lose it. This one also has a little baby squash on it. Oh, sorry, I disturbed a bee. The bees are doing their job out here. They really are. This is the Bennings Green Tint. There's a female right there. The bloom's already closed up. It seems to, one of them has thrown out this huge runner going across the black plastic, which was my plan all along, for watermelon and squash to grow across this. This, I believe, is also, is this the blue cream berry? I think this one might be blue cream's berry. And again, no fruit set. Wait, no, I do have one. It's hard to see that, but I do have a teeny tiny baby. It's just kind of getting to that age. There's another one. Good. Florida's kind of, you know, it's really difficult down here with our extreme heat. This is a Florida pepper plant. It's very close cousins, I think, to the Tabasco, but it never gets much higher than this. And it really didn't ever die off in the winter. It was very cold tolerant. This is some weird vine in the middle of it. Oh, it must have come out of a tree. So anyhow, and I have pretty little cosmos. And right here is an artichoke. I had 2 of them. Don't know where the second one went. It just disappeared one day. And I mean one day, it like disappeared. So we'll see. Hopefully those will grow. More mixture zinnias, cosmos. This is my Brazilian flaming candle. It just fell off there. This bush did not mind hot, cold, nothing. Just nothing minds it. I'm just gonna probably cut it back a little bit. It's getting a little tall and leggy. This is my African blue basil, a great pollinator friendly plant. It smells great. Smells great. Didn't taste so great, but it's nice to have. I have straw flowers coming. I have 3 different colors. One, middle guy doesn't look too good. And tall guy over here on the end. I don't remember which was which color. And more cosmos. This is a lavender. Don't remember which one, but Elegance Purple. It seems to be doing well in our heat so far. Of course, the true heat hasn't turned on, but it does have beautiful little purple blooms that I do feel that the bees are, it was here before the cosmos, so, you know, the bees were super attracted to it. But now they have the cosmos. We got 1 garden left. Okay, so I have pink and a volunteer white Chinese celery. Will not be replanting any of that ever again. It's grown fine. It's okay. It just doesn't taste like American celery. It does and it doesn't. It's way more woody and chewy, and I just didn't think the stalks ever amounted to anything super thick. So therefore, I mean, the white one did better than the pink. The pinks just never really get super thick. I suppose that would be okay for soups, but in general, even though it looks like a little forest here, didn't enjoy it, so won't grow it. This is tender crisp celery. I just picked a lot off of this yesterday, so all the big stalks are gone. Delicious, delicious, delicious. This is Tango, which had a later start, and I haven't actually eaten it, but it's getting close to eating size. So I have two of them. I have one over there and here. Now, for the longest time, I've been telling you guys, this is my rainbow garden, and you can see the little arcs in it. That's all gonna go bye-bye in the fall. This is the most difficult thing to water when you have these arcs. So we're gonna change all this up after everything dies out. And for the longest time, I've been saying this is a snowball cauliflower. That's what I thought I planted. But guess what? I don't think these are snowball cauliflower. I am pretty certain this looks more like a broccoli. I mean, tell me what you think. Those have pink stalks, and I think I did do a purple broccoli. Those are green stalks over there. Not sure if that's because some, natural variation or what. This looks variegated, but that's probably nutritional. Anyhow, it goes all the way around, and I'm like, that doesn't grow like any of the cauliflower in the back. So I have not seen a single broccoli head yet. Maybe too hot. Again, what a mess. But anyhow, it's a great experiment. My whole life is a great experiment, isn't yours? The lettuce is all bolted, done. I just need to get out here and rip it out. Maybe, I don't even know if those leaves are worth saving. They're probably bitters all get out. I do have some scarlet kale right in here. This used to be my radishes. Oh my gosh. Are you seeing this? Used to be, but still is for one guy. That is a massive radish root. I missed you. I missed this guy. Forgot about him. So this was my radish garden, still is for this guy. And so radishes are cold weather, and so is kale, but I just thought I would throw some of these I got these new seeds from my gardener, and they're just really colorful and pretty, and I thought they would look good out here. And other than the weed, they really are quite attractive in my rainbow garden. This is, Marilee, if you're watching, this is your Mizuna lettuce that you gave me seeds to, or little babies. I think Steve gave me the babies. And it made a real attractive, different texture in here. So you can see that together. That is really, 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 really pretty. I guess I lost one down there because I probably tried to plant an arc, but it didn't work. So, wow, these look excellent. I'm going to give some of these to Lulu and take some in maybe for lunch. So that's cool. Some volunteer marigolds on the fence. I had a basil, but it looks like it's fizzling out. I had two basils over there, but fizzling out. I have the last of the dead-on cabbages. It's kind of a small head, two of them. That one's got worms in it. I can see not much going on to eat there. And then I have my two late start dead-ons right there, and then one red acres. I better pull that one. Oh gosh, so let me think. There's one here too. Well, I got way more cabbage than I realized I still have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 heads of cabbage still in April in Florida. That's pretty neat. So anyhow, let's talk about this arc, and then we'll be done for the most part. And then this was just reseeded, and now that we decided we're going to change everything, I probably shouldn't have done that, but we're still going to let it go. So on the outside, and this is all just weeds, and I've tried basil, everything. I'm just letting it die out, and then we're going to cover it with like black plastic, let everything die. I mean, kill it. Kill it, okay, no. So on the outside we have, you can see right there, some sunflowers. I don't remember. Those are probably black oil sunflowers. I'm not sure, but I think that's what they are. Then we have 2 different amaranth in here. So this one should be the coral fountain. You can see a couple of those right there. And this one should be the love lies bleeding. And there's going to be some weeds because the amaranth was really slow to get started. But that should give me 3 different colors of rainbow in here. And those are all heat loving, so they'll last pretty much up through August, and if whatever the hurricanes rip out. I have parsley and 3 different pineapples. This one got damaged in the beginning, but it's making a comeback. So hold on, hold tight. Let me hop over. Red potatoes. So I already pulled the first row. This section is already dying, so I might pull those out. And then I have 3 little peanuts. I think they were pinstripe peanuts, right? And they should flower, and I think when they start dying back is when I pull those. I have more Mexican sunflower, no, Mexican sage, but no flower on these. And then I have a little bit of lavender here in the corner, and it's going nowhere fast. That's about the same size it was a month ago or 2. So anyhow, this is I changed up. I've not had good luck with potatoes, so I decided to try this little temporary raised bed, which looks like it's going to be a success. And I'll probably put one here because these are my winged Japanese beans. So anyhow, thank you so very much for joining me on this tour.